Hi, I'm Rob, and in this Gems of War video, I'm going to take a look at the Soulforge, tell you what I think is good and bad in there. I'm going to show you a really cool no mythic Journey event team as well, and a Underspire team too. But first of all, let's take a look at this Raksha urchin. What does it do, apart from be a urchin that is Raksha-y? Deals magic +2 damage to a random enemy, boosted by my gold, then steal 5 gold. Okay, what's the boost ratio? 10-1. Wow, that is a big ratio. In other words, you have to have 10 gold to get 1 extra damage. And it's to a random enemy, so you can't even target who you want. That's not very good. Start battles with 50% mana. Yeah, okay, but what's the point of getting charged with mana quickly if you can't hit who you want? Anyway, does gain 2 bonus gold on 4 or 5 gem matches, which very slowly will push up that damage. It's pretty rubbish. 3 out of 10 for you. It's just, yeah, pretty poor to me. Maybe slightly higher than that if you don't have very many troops and you're new to the game, but otherwise very collectible. Just get it to mythic anyway. Why not? Might as well have it. It's there, and we'll stick it in our collection. Anyway, I was a bit confused the other day when my printer, of all things, started playing music, and I went over to it and the paper was jamming. Yes, do you see? Right, what we're doing? Going into the Soulforge, aren't we? Yes, the Forge of the Soul. Let's take a look in there first. Let's take a look at the weapons first. Not going to go over all the ones that are here all the time. They're in my Soulforge extra video, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. And don't get the Grave Spike from here either. This is the Journey event weapon, so get it from the Journey event shop. You can get that with gems rather than spending your hard-earned resources getting it from here, because you're going to be buying tiers from the Journey event shop anyway. So it just is a waste to get it from here, so don't do it. Right, anyway, what does it do? It deals damage to an enemy boosted by red allies and Raksha allies. So basic damage with a boost. So yeah, we'll take a proper look at that a little bit later. What's the first new one? We have the Beastly Bow. Damn, that bow is beastly. Deals damage to an enemy boosted by beast allies, then create a mix of 6 green and yellow gems for each beast ally. Uses blue and brown, creates green and yellows, and make sure you've got a couple of troops at least in your team that are beasts that use green and or yellow to make the most of all that lovely mana. Rope Dart. What a weapon this is. Still probably top 3 weapons in the game. Absolutely fantastic. Maybe even top 2, top 3. It's that good. It's like Wonder Stars for me is the best one, and then you got Rope Dart immediately comes into the equation. Absolutely fantastic still. Oh, look at, just have a look at it. Eliminates all armor from an enemy straight away, bang, gone. Then deals damage to them and pulls them to first place, but it's got tangling and quick as upgrades as well, so it entangles them as well and has an extra turn. Eliminate all armor, damage, pull to first place, entangle them, and an extra turn. It's mental. It's a fantastic weapon. If you've got resources, just get it. This is more important to get this week than Wand of Stars. Because if you don't have Wand of Stars either, which I've just said is the best weapon in the game, and I still think it absolutely is, it's not even a contest really, but Wand of Stars is here every single week. This is not here every single week. You just need to get this today, because it will be gone next week, and you have to wait and wait and wait for ages before it comes up again. Where Wand of Stars is here every single time. So get Rope Dart today if you do not have it. Do you see? Right, Cat's Paw. It's not a very nice paw, is it? If it twats you around the head and gives you a bunch of damage, that's one of those angry cats, the ones that just look at you a bit and they just bash another cat or another dog. You've seen them cat videos where the dog's just sleeping there and stuff, doing nothing. It's just completely innocently sitting there. Then the cat sits there, does that thing where it brings its hand up and paw, and it just holds it out there and then it goes poof, and it just bats it multiple times. Like, whack, 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 whack. And what did the dog do? It was just sitting there. Anyway, that's nothing to do with... It is actually a cat's paw. That made me think of it. But anyway, it does damage to an enemy boosted by Pride Lands allies, then create a mix of 6 green and red gems for each Pride Lands ally. So similar to the other weapon, but this one uses blue and yellow, creates green and red, so make sure you've got at least a couple of Pride Lands allies in your team that use green and or red. Again, very straightforward. Don't want to waste all that mana. Spear of the Pride, kind of the anti-Pride Lands weapon in a way. Removes all red gems, deals damage to an enemy boosted by gems removed if the enemy is from Pride Lands or if the battle is in Pride lands deal double damage. So not a sort of thing you're really going to use. Very rare you end up actually using these things, but they are cheap to craft, and that is worth doing sometimes, because basically you can evolve your power level kingdoms with weapons upgraded to the max level, and that's a cheap one to get, so why not? Black Mane's Claw, deal damage to an enemy boosted by Raksha allies, then create a mix of 6 red and brown gems for each Raksha ally. So again, another one of these, there's quite a few of these in the Pride Lands weapons category list. But this one uses green and yellow, creates red and brown. So same deal as before, make sure you've got a couple of Raksha allies this time who use red or brown, or both, to make the most of all the mana. Alright, what else have we got? We have Twin Claws. Explodey summony weapons do like these. Explode magic +1 green gems, grant a random status effect to all beast allies, then summon a beast troop. So mana gen, status effects, summon, very, very effective weapons. Wand of Stars, say it all the time, but if you haven't got it, get it today, but not unless you've got Rope Dart as well. If you haven't got Rope Dart, get Rope Dart today, because this is here every single week. Amazing mana generator. I'm not going to go over it all again, so I say it every week, but yeah, mention it in all the other videos. So just a fantastic, fantastic weapon. Mana gen galore, bless, which is like making you blessed, you're immune to status effects and stuff, and you can do the opposite with curse to the enemy, and it applies on impervious troops too. So if they weren't impervious, they won't be any more after you cast that on them. Very good. Doomed Dagger, deal damage to the last enemy boosted by red gems. If they have a doom, deal double damage as a 3% chance per tempering level to kill the enemy. Not a very good weapon. It does damage specifically to the last enemy, and you can't control that. It does have a boost by red gems though. You're not going to very often get that double damage thing. That's normally for the event only, so it becomes irrelevant largely. And even the 3% chance per tempering level to kill the enemy at max level is only like a 1 in 3 chance roughly, so yeah, not that great unless you get unbelievably lucky. Shadow Hunter's Claw, deal damage to the first 2 enemies, and if Shadow Hunter is on my team, gain 5 attack. Again, very, very collectible. You have to have Shadow Hunter on your team to gain that 5 attack, so you've already like been told 2 troops effectively to have, because you have to use this one and Shadow Hunter to get that boost, and the boost is not very good. Can make a difference if you're really new to the game, but for most players it's going to become rather irrelevant. I'll need a bit more coffee in a minute. I'm stumbling over my words already. Death Rites. Doesn't sound very nice, does it? Explode a column. Create a death mark gem for each skull or purple gem in the chosen column. Would have been good if it had an extra turn, because without it, and exploding a column, not a row, you can't predict what's going to force. You can't even plan a 3 or 4 match afterwards. Because you explode a column, you can't control that or see what's going to happen. And create a death mark gem for each skull or purple gem in the column. So yeah, you can create death mark gems, but the trouble is, without the extra turn, the enemy can have an extra turn. If they're about to explode gems, they might put all those death marks on you, which would be rather annoying. So yeah, death rights to you as well as the enemy. You never know what's going to happen. And what else have we got? We have Burning Pride. Explode magic +1 red gems. Grant a random status effect to all Raksha allies. Then summon a Raksha troop. So another explodey summoning weapon there. And we have a doomed dart thrower lingering around at the bottom like a bad, smelly doomed dart thrower. Dealing damage to an enemy with a +4 per tempering level boost. If they use red mana, explode 3 gems. If the enemy has a doom, then gain a quarter of my mana back. That last part never seems to happen in games. The people that really use dooms, they're only there in the events, so pretty much ignore that last bit unless you've got a strange team you're fighting against. So damage with a boost, if they use red mana, explode 3 gems, can get your mana back. You're not going to use it very often unless you're restricted to certain restrictions which kind of force certain things upon you. But yeah, far from essential. But what is essential today is you absolutely go and get Rope Dart. No matter what. Even if you haven't got one of the stars yet, just get Rope Dart. Absolutely a fantastic weapon. Right, let's have a look at the troops. I'm going to have a little sip of my drink first. Do like a milky coffee in the morning. Right, as ever, especially if you're a newer player, have a little look through these summoning stones. See if there's anybody there that takes your fancy. You're particularly looking for goblins. Always get an extra turn, which are good. And power troops, they're the ones that start with full mana. And anybody that's just really, really good all round. Dust Devil's very good. Part of the Dust Devil, Greed and Iron Hawk team, where you can get things done really, really quickly during vault events. So important to get that if you haven't got it. But let's start by looking at the mythics and working our way up. In fact, we're going to look at the dragon first, the gem dragon, because that happens to be here. This is the one that's on rotation, and you can buy them for extra dragonite to ensure you stop getting duplicates and get the one that you like. So Solarithus, this is on the way to getting Stellarix. So if Solarithus is the last dragon you need on the path to getting Stellarix, then to me it's certainly worth spending this extra dragonite to ensure you get it, rather than get more duplicates. But you can get lucky. You could open another normal egg and get it straight away, thus saving dragonite. On the other hand, you could open another 10 eggs and not get it straight away, costing you a lot more dragonite. It's just the luck of the draw, which is why I prefer the certainty of knowing how much you're going to spend to guarantee getting it. So yeah, if it's the last dragon you need to get Stellarix, then yeah, absolutely worth it for me. But you pay your dragonite, you take your choice, up to you. But I know I would rather do as I think I say every single time. On to the standard mythics. There wasn't anybody below there, was there? No, that was a legendary. The Elder Dragon, really good on this. I do like this. Does damage to all enemies, create 9 cursed gems, which are brown with the effect of curse, and that can make impervious troops normal, so really useful for that against impervious enemies. And the fact it uses brown as well means it can charge up and do it again. That damage to all, really, really good. As well as that, a lot of sanity ties in with this spell really well, because it can create 4 matches with those cursed gems. Eliminate 3 magic from all enemies when matching 4 or more gems. That's pretty powerful. You get a good bunch of 4 matches going, and you can reduce all the enemy's magic to really low amounts, just really, really reducing the effectiveness of their spells. Amazing. Start battles with a Madness Storm is good and bad. Madness Storm, I think that's blue and purple. So it uses purple, so that's good. But you are going to need to have someone blue on your team, otherwise you're creating blue extra gems for no reason. And all enemies lose 2 random skill points. Is a little bit weak first trait for a mythic, but the spell itself and that loss of sanity, very, very good indeed. Do love the Elder Dragon. Very, very effective troop there. Sycorax. Well, not just in Megavore as well. Crikey, this is a good Soulforge. So Sycorax, absolutely amazing troop. First of all, it's impervious. Does recover 3 life at the start of each turn, and all elemental allies gain 1 attack and armor at the start of its turn, which is a little bit weak for the trait, that last one, but it's because the spell is so flipping good. Double a chosen colour gem on the board, so whichever one you like, then create 3 more gems of that colour and give magic +1 life to all allies of that colour. Alright, so have a look at that. Double a chosen colour on the board, any one you like. So the idea of this is, with Sycorax using blue, green and brown, you have a team of other troops that use all of one of those colours. So everybody uses blue, everyone uses green, or everyone uses brown. You can mix and match it as you like. But when you do that on that colour, everybody is going to get that massive life boost. And you're going to double that chosen colour on the board. And because you've doubled that chosen colour on the board, there's stacks of them. And because it's going to self-charge, if it gets first dibs on that colour, sometimes even if it doesn't, there's going to be loads of them there, which you double again, and you can do it pretty much endlessly until you get literally as much life as you want for your entire team. Like, you can have, like, you know, 1,000 life if you wanted to. It absolutely works. It's kind of useful in things like Guild Wars sometimes, when you want to guarantee you're going to win at the cost of extra turns and slower games. But yeah, at least the choice is there with Sycorax. Absolutely amazing, amazing troop. Megavore. Speaking of amazing troop, eliminate all armor from all enemies. I remember the first time I saw this, I thought that was some sort of typo. I thought that can't be right. This is going back several years. And then deal a double magic and a bit to an enemy and submerge itself. I mean, that is nuts on its own. Eliminate all armor from all enemies. Absolutely insane. But the icing on the cake is that last trait. Death below. 8% chance to kill the last enemy on 4 or 5 gem matches. So start off in a team where you create those 4 matches or get them randomly, like with a Wand of Stars team, and you've got an 8% chance all the time to just kill people automatically. And it's impervious, which is nuts. And huge is not exactly huge, it's just like a little bit alright. But yeah, Megavore, absolutely amazing, amazing troop. Alright, so I've got one left, haven't we? And a Arachnian Weaver, crikey, this is an insane Soulforge already. Rope Dart in the weapons, Arachnian Weaver, Megavore, Sycorax, and the Elder Dragon. It's mythics, this is a really strong... Oh my goodness, I'm already not looking forward to trying to pick the Mythic of the half week. I keep on saying Mythic of the week, but it's Mythic of the half week, isn't it? Because it changes. But anyway, Arachnian Weaver webs all enemies, and a webbed enemy has their magic reduced to 0. This stops troops like Chrysantherax, Stellarix, King Gobtruffle, Queen Beatrix, the ones who do all them hideous scatter and damage to all, reduces their magic to 0, which makes their damage insignificant amounts. Really, really powerful is web. It's amazing. And web all enemies is just great. Then deal magic-based damage, true damage rather, to the last 2 enemies, and if an enemy dies, explode 15 gems. So it works really well with other troops that do true damage, particularly to the last troops. And you can combine them, and then if they die, which they often will, when you combine the damage of this with whoever you bash them with, you're going to explode gems, charge up, and be ready to do it again. And the set of traits is nuts as well. Stealthy, cannot be targeted by spells. Impervious, immune to all status effects. Not as good as it used to be because of Curse now, but before that came out, Impervious was incredible. And Creeping Doom, 75% chance to summon a web spinner when an enemy dies. So yeah, Arachnian Weaver, really, really good. So that's the mythics. Quick look now at the legendaries. Glaceon, reduced damage from skulls by 65% is really, really strong. And transform yellow to blue and red to doom skulls and freeze the strongest enemy is a spell. Very dangerous troop indeed. Ankum, damage to all enemies boosted by cursed enemies. For every cursed enemy, give a barrier to a random ally. And that sort of thing combines well with things like the Elder Dragon that creates all the cursed gems. In fact, I've just looked at that. It's like it's really good for it because that uses blue, and it gets boosted by the curse. So yeah, I might look at this later because Ankum with Elder Dragon technically is really good. Both troops doing damage to all, boost with a curse, and a barrier. For every cursed enemy, give a barrier to a random ally. So this could be actually really good with the Elder Dragon. Anyway, yeah, Ankum. It's there if you want it. Don't usually recommend getting legendaries with your diamonds though. They're better off being saved for the much harder to get mythics. The Vulfire Hunter, choose one. Do you like these choose one troops? Deal magic based true damage to an enemy boosted by blue gems, or deal the same amount of splash damage to an enemy boosted by blue gems again. And gain 3 mana when matching 4 or more gems. And reduce damage from skulls by 65%. So not bad at all. And the last one is the Cragmaw. Destroy a 5x5 circle. It's not really a circle, but I suppose destroy a 5x5 little bit like a circle, kinda. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. Then deal damage to the last enemy. There was a 30% chance to devour them, boosted by skulls destroyed. And deal 8 damage to the last enemy when matching 4 or more gems. Is the best of the traits. Who gets my mythic over the half week? Crikey. So we got the Elder Dragon, really, really good. Do love that loss of sanity, can self-charge, do it again. But Sycorax, there's no one like it really. You get the trolls that do the one colour on their own, but nothing that does it quite like this. With choosing a colour and then giving that life boost, that is absolutely amazing. You can do that as much as you want, just means slower games. Megavore, eliminating all armor from all enemies, the damage, the just instant kill thing from death below. And Arachnian Weaver, really strong as well. That web, the damage, the explosion, the web spinner, the imperviousness, really, really good. But I have to give it to Megavore. I kind of think that, okay, if all these mythics were about to be removed from the game, who would I save? And for me, it depends upon your play style and how you like to play, but it would have to be Megavore. That Death Below just frightens the fidgety fudge out of people in Guild Wars and things like that, and the eliminate all armor can really be useful on those really high events as well, when the enemies have got absolutely stacks of their stuff. So I'm giving my Mythic of the Half Week to the mighty Megavore. Right, before we do the Journey event team, let's just show how this event works. Naughty or nice, very, very simple event to play. You've got 13 days to do this. Well, 14 really, including today. But you must use blue troops to fight battles. So just use your powerful dragon teams. You can use it with Ascensia if you like to get that 50% mana start on those dragons. You can use a King Gobtruffle, Queen Beatrix team. And it's very easy to play. Just pick a battle. I'm going to go for 2 times Takshaka with 2 times Zarg here. It should be very straightforward. Just going to explode gems at the start and get charged up on the Takshakas really quickly. Along with those random matches from Takshaka, things going to happen very fast indeed. And yeah, and you do your battles every day. Make sure you do them and you earn a mistletoe. In this case, you save it up. We've got 20 there in the top right hand corner, look, and you save up for the different things that you want. I always recommend getting the troop first. Mrs. Crinkle goes with Chris Crinkle, the one of the Bandgate issue a couple of years ago. That was a funny reminder of that weird and strange event. But anyway, enough about that. Deals damage to the first 2 enemies, converts all green to Doom Skulls, or deal damage to the last 2 enemies and convert red to Doom Skulls. So nice troop this, with different options to change different colours to Doom Skulls. That's quite cool. Gain bonus red mana from red gem matches, and gain 2 attack and armour to all dwarves when matching 4 or more gems, and does have fortitude as well. So yeah, get the troop. You get 3 of them when you get like them 400 mistletoe things. And I always recommend getting the pet at the same time. This is Crinkle's candy, so definitely worth picking up the pet at the same time. And then after that, if you want to save up for an orb of power, you can. This is just stuff that looks nice if you like the look of it and has no real meaning, but definitely save up for the troop, the pet, and if you want the orb of power, and even the other stuff if you have the spare stuff. But yeah, make sure you do it every day, do those battles, and you'll have plenty of points to get those things. As simple as that. Now onto the Journey event team. Now for the Journey event, you must use the event captain. Normally it has its name there, but it's not there right now. Aquin Bloodclaw. So the event captain there in the middle at the bottom, Aquin Bloodclaw, gives ×2 magic, and the trait gives ×2 to ×3 score for this event only, but absolutely essential to use it in your team. And you get it from the shop at tier 2. You must buy the tiers in order. So at tier 1 you pick up the potion of enchantment anyway, which is really nice. Enchant all allies at the start of battle for this event only. Then you pick up journey sigils, event troops, and more. Tier 2 you get more the same, but this is where you pick up Aquin Bloodclaw. That's a potion of explosion you get there, but does damage to an enemy, then creates 2 red gems boosted by Raksha allies. So if you've got all Rakshas in the team, really good, because we can then just get that nice boost, do damage, as well as pick up even more red gems, and hopefully get a nice match there and a 4 match and continue a loop, because it is important to loop in Journey, and I'll explain why in just a minute. Tier 3, we pick up the weapon I mentioned in the Soulforge. Best to leave it to get it from here, because at tier 3 you pick up the potion of rejuvenation, more of the same sort of stuff as before, like journey sigils, troops, things like that. You also pick up the weapon. Not going to use it for this, but it's still good to get new weapons. It does damage to an enemy boosted by red allies and Raksha allies. And yeah, more tiers are available if you want to, and you may want to, because there's 2 ways of getting Aquin Bloodclaw to mythic level. Either buy him at tier 2, back out, use 2 orbs of ascension to get it to mythic level that way, or buy enough tiers to get enough copies of him or her or it or they, whatever, to get it to mythic level that way. So all good, whatever you prefer. But now on to the team. Always do the highest miles possible in Journey. Really important to maximize miles per battle, and I'll come to why in just a second. But first of all, in this team, we have to use all red. That is the mana color restriction. And there's 2 ways of getting a really good constant loop going with this kind of team. And there's a choice with the weapon. I'm going to go with the Doomed Impaler. You can use a Wand of Stars as well if you have it. So if you don't have this, Wand of Stars will work in a really nice way at the same time. But the Doomed Impaler does damage to the first 2 enemies based on your magic with a +2 per tempering level boost. Then create 2 red gems for each red ally and enemy. If the enemy has a doom, gain a random status effect. So the idea of this is we are forced to use red. So we're already getting a maximum boost on the team on our side already. And if the enemy has reds, that just adds to it. And if the enemy has 2 or 3 red enemies, then it can create so much red, it just self-charges and does it again with almost guaranteed extra turns just every single time, again and again and again until you win. Really, really good. And we can use this as a backup, doing damage to an enemy, creating more red, boosted by Raksha allies, and we get that nice Pathfinder boost on the miles as well. Kotori King is just here for that extra damage boost to 3 different enemies. Can create wild cards, which can create extra turns, charge up your team again, very handy. And Indrajit is here again as a nice bonus damage booster if we need it. And it does curse and burn a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. So we're going to be creating 4 matches galore with these 2, remember. So we're going to get that curse and burn going absolutely non-stop. And the reason why that's handy is because we are going to be in a Sunspear class. And not only do we create a firestorm at the start of every turn, which is red, very, very useful for this event, but we're going to also have Fireblade, so we get more red. But the main point is, like a Fireblade, we have burning enemies because of the bottom troop, cursing and burning, and then deal triple skull damage to burning enemies. Very, very nice indeed. We can have other stuff as well, like Firebringer is useful. We can have Deluge, submerge a random ally on 4 or 5 gem matches. Watery Binding is just there because we get that anyway. And we don't want a green storm at the start. And Root Trap, always useful to entangle the first enemy at the start of battle. And Insulated just for the fun of it. And Snap Freeze as well, just to freeze them while we are not prone to being frozen ourselves. So works very, very well. So let's show it in a bit of action. Don't think I've picked my banner yet. What are we looking for? We're definitely looking for red. And we are not using, say, green. So what we got? Red and purple? Doesn't really matter, really. Red and blue is technically the best. Minus brown. There you go. Look at that. Saurus banner. Lots of red. Bonus blue for Aquin. And minus brown because we don't care about that. So let's dive in and have a couple of battles. You can stick on a Medal of Anu to give yourself a 20% mana start. Very useful. But with this heat wave going on, we're going to get charged up really, really, really quickly. So let's get our red, he says. Did I just take that match and that created not a red match? What the hell? Anyway, that's the way it's going to go sometimes. But the point is, it's fine because we can do that if we want. But because we got a gem match there first, we'll do that first. Get rid of them. Finish them off with those 3 hits. Job done. No need to cast a weapon or a Pathfinder that time. That is the maximum amount of miles. Like I say, if you want to guarantee speed at the early stages, it's definitely worth sticking on a Medal of Anu. The most important thing about this event is basically getting the battles done in 10 turns or less. And I'll just explain that now when we go back into it. Again, always do the highest miles possible. If you found the previous battle easy or comfortable, or you managed it and it was okay, then always do the highest miles possible. So in Journey, the reason why you loop with weapons and troops is because to get the maximum amount of miles, you must complete the battle, win the battle in 10 turns or less. This is why this is here as well. Good look at this. Bish, bash, bosh, see you all later. But a turn in Gems of War is your go, including all extra turns, and the enemy's go, including all extra turns, and back to you. That is one complete turn. So to win the battles in 10 turns or less, you can loop as much as you want. As long as these 2 will keep on looping on the harder levels. When the enemy's got a lot more health and things like that and it takes multiple hits, these 2 will loop like crazy with this non-stop storm. I mean, look at this. This is, we don't have to do anything, but we'll get a 4 match just because it's there. Didn't even do anything then. Things just happening by themselves, look. Bish, bash, bosh. That's you lot gone. And those wild cards came into play there and this got charged up and we will finish off. This is going to be a nice, comfortable journey event. It's only going to get tricky on the much, much harder levels when the enemy has severe levels of attack and hits really, really hard with skulls and spells and things like that. But even then, they're going to be entangled at the beginning. And we get going so quick with this team, the chances are they are not going to have a chance to even think about bashing you out into oblivion because we're going to be ready to go in no time. So we've got this red storm going. We are going to be ready with a weapon next round anyway. And there's one red enemy there. So we got a boost of 10. Didn't actually loop, but the Pathfinder's up next round anyway. To finish off, and we shall continue. We'll just do a few more battles, because this is the way it's going to work throughout. We'll bash them into oblivion. Always look for potential red matches. If not, then blue. You may get extra cascade because of the constant red storm. When we get this, we can do this. When you get a choice to kill an enemy, don't kill someone that's red. If you've got a choice, leave the red enemies there, unless they're particularly dangerous, because the boost with this is for red allies and enemies. So by leaving those red there, you actually increase the amount of red gems which appear on the board. So you're helping yourself. You're not helping yourself if you end up bashing out the red enemies. So when you cast the Pathfinder, make sure you avoid taking out the red enemies if you can, because they're actually useful for the weapon. And another fine and dandy start. Let's grab a bit more red. Pathfinder's ready. Let's take out the Valraven to guarantee those extra sigils. That charged up this. This is going to create red galore, and we can repeat until they are dead. Happy days. Right, let's just do a couple more battles. Oops. So you've got to be careful of double presses on this as well, so I just double pressed that then and nearly picked the lower miles one. I wish it would start on the default higher one, I really do. I'm sure I've done it before where I've just rushed through battles and ended up just doing the lower miles one, which is annoying, because that's not what we want. We are heroes and we do the high level battles if we can. So, grab extra turns first. Always good to get this curse and burn on 4 matches. Benefit from that triple skull damage as well to burning enemies. Fantastic stuff. And pick your poison. Look, we can pick anybody here to finish them off. This is only going to hit one though, so you don't do that. You do either this, or you do this, or you do this, but either one of them. In fact, we can do it now with the weapon just because we can. Har har, he says in his comic voice. Ha ha voice. What? I don't know. I don't know. Right, let's make this the last one. This is really straightforward journey this time around. Sometimes it can be tricky to maximize stuff in this, but fairly straightforward this time. Again, when you get the first choice of killing somebody with the Pathfinder, don't kill the top troop when they're still entangled. That's actually quite handy to keep them entangled, and don't pick on anybody that's red, because that is good for the weapon. Pick on somebody else, get rid of them, send them on their way. Didn't loop, it doesn't matter, because this gets going so quick it's nuts. But most of the time it will loop. We're now going to kill that enemy. No choice but to kill that entangled enemy this time, but we got charged up and we can just pick our way how we kill them. We shall give them a nice meaty skull bash. But there's a really good to use, easy journey event team there. Remember, if you don't have that doomed weapon, just chuck in the Wander Stars for a very similar effect. Now onto the Underspire. Now this is a bit of an annoying Underspire in a way. Just grab my free lantern from Matey Boy Mr. T Wannabe and move on. Because we are restricted by Pride Lands troops, and this, if you don't have any mythics, gives you a pretty limited choice. There's not many particularly good troops there at all, but we do have Uberstet here, so if you have Uberstet, then it's certainly worth putting in place of a Indrajit who can soften the enemies up, and then with Uberstet, with the boost from the enemy as well, and when on the harder levels those enemies get more attack that works against them, you do more damage. If they die, you're going to kill another one automatically. So Uberstet really good for that. But for a no mythic alternative, 300 is pretty good, because you do curse and burn a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems. So this can happen 3 times with 3 of these. And if you need more of these, just pop down to the Underworld into Indrajit's Palace and open some more things from down there and see if you can pick up another 1 or 2, whatever you need. So Indrajit really good for this. If you don't have more than 2 of these, then another weapon, another troop rather, to put in place of this. Was it Hunter or Mage? Yeah, this one was Hellclaw Hunter. Not too bad. Damage boosted by red and purple, and conjures a Hailstorm, which is red and purple, which is really, really good for Indrajit using red and purple. And the boost is by red and purple as well on that previous troop, so yeah. But regarding a weapon, we can go Burning Pride, exploding magic +1 red gems, grant a random status effect to all Raksha allies, and summon a Raksha troop. We get a benefit of that Firestorm, which is red every single round. We can snap freeze someone, we can be immune to frozen, entangle that top troop, we can submerge somebody, we can get bonus red, and deal triple skull damage to burning enemies. And remember, this dude curses and burns a random enemy when matching 4 or more gems, which is why 3 works really well, because a single 4 match is going to curse and burn 3 enemies, which means you can activate the triple skull damage absolutely straight away. As things get harder, or if you're newer to the game, then certainly swap Burning Pride down 1, because it doesn't matter too much if you lose a Indrajit, because we've got the bonus ones to do the damage, but if you lose this, then you lose basically your summoner and your exploder and your status effect giver at the same time. So as things get trickier, move this down 1 to benefit from the summon, because if you lose your Indrajit, you can cast this and get a summon back, and that is a okay way to go about it. And if things get really tough, then you can actually change to Elementalist class, which is going to burn, stun, freeze and entangle a enemy on every single 4 match. So let's just show this in action a couple of times. There you go, 4 match, look, 3 of them burning already. Is that impervious or something? Or did it duplicate and go on the same one? That's impervious. Grr. Anyway, whatever. Let's grab some yellow and brown for our weapon. Got the Firestorm, so we get more red than normal with this, so we're going to explode plenty of red gems. There we go, red gems will cascade more than the other ones as well. Indrajit is up. He says, bish, bash, bosh, dosh. Take that lot, you lot, and kaboosh, you all out of there. Thank you very much. Oh, this is the new Underspire thing with these extra bits and bobs as we go along. Alright, another battle. Obviously, if the red is there straight away, you can charge up your Indrajit straight away, whatever happens first. We've got that. There you go. There you go, son. Bish, bash, bosh, dosh. It's going to be very easy on these early stages. Will get a bit trickier when you have to multicast, but the way it works with all that red, the Indrajits will get charged up pretty quickly. When you get a situation like this, don't take that one straight away, because you're going to mess up this red one here. So we take this first, and then we take this one next, because basically you can get cascades because of the red storm, which we did, and the same result applies. Just bash them all out of there nice and quick. As I said, you can change to Elementalist class when things get a bit tougher later on, if required. And it is nicer to have this weapon in second place anyway, because like I say, you do get the summon from it. You don't want to have a little bit of bad luck at the start and then lose your summoner. So what we got? Indrajit is ready again. Couple of Nigers, Medlavanu to get things going nice and quick. If you don't care about the super fast start or the nice quick start, then you can obviously just stick on 3 Nigers. Not going to do them yet, save them towards the end for technical reasons involving how many excuse me, torches you have left. Done a full Underspire guide. Check that out on my channel. Just type in Underspire guide on the search bar on my channel and you will find it. Really good way of saving a whole bunch of gems every single week if you go through the Underspire on a regular basis, which for so many people is a really good thing to do. Guaranteed rewards. You can get like orbs of minions, major orbs of glory, imperial deeds. Really, really good. Right, so there it is. There's the Underspire team working really well in this slight reboot of the Underspire. But there's a video. If you enjoyed it, found it useful and helpful, it'd be really cool if you bash that like and subscribe button. It really does help. Hype it, like it, all that malarkey, and I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.